Hey guys, so I was supposed to have Erica on, and something came up with her, so we are going to reschedule, which is fine. But so I don't really have anything planned other than what I was going to talk to her about, but I'm getting a lot of questions on how to pay the bills, how to send in the remittance coupon. Okay, so you guys are starting to follow me on Snap because I am going through the process. Like, you can actually see the process that I'm doing, which is good because if you're following some of the content creators that I've mentioned, like Tamara T. Bush, love her. I'm obsessed with her right now. So at this point, it's like I take notes, continue to take notes, and then kind of put everything together, because this is going to be like a journey for you. Okay, it's going to be something that you're going to have to figure out. I've had a couple of people ask me to do it for them, and I'm still doing it for me. So I can take you on my way as far as like, this is what I'm doing if you want to go along the process with me. And then I can instruct as far as like what I've learned. But anything after that, I'm just taking you along my journey through this, right? So a lot of the questions that I'm getting are very valid questions, but you guys are the bank, okay? You're the bank. So when you were born, your birth certificate is a bond. So that bond is at the Treasury, right? And that's why you would have like Treasury Direct and that kind of thing. You need that particular account because you need to be able to have access to that, right? You need to be able to like link into your social security number, right? So because that's anytime that you opened anything or had anything like a birth certificate, marriage certificate, divorce ticket, anything with a docket, anything like that, hey Alyssa, anything like that is going to be recorded publicly, and then there's also a bond put on it. So every time that you get anything, even a traffic ticket, that ticket is going to have a bond put on it. It's a surety bond. So think about how long you've gone through your life and you have accrued these particular things. You can get that money back, okay? That is a bond for you. So I get a lot of that questions, like where does it come from? Where is the money at? Where is it located? It's located at the Treasury. So I know you guys are seeing a lot with the Treasury and Fed Now and all that kind of stuff. It's a new system that's being put into place. Now, don't think that when the old system crashes, something else isn't already in place, okay? It's already gonna be backed by gold, which we've heard that several times, even by Trump. So there is like this movement that is going on behind the scenes. Now, I have a guy that, it's funny, when Biden was inaugurated, I posted in one of the group chats that I still felt like Trump was president because it's almost like there's two parallel stories happening right now. So you have Trump that is trying to put into like the system, right? Trying to wake people up, trying to like get the new system into place, which I think it's great because like Fox News and Tucker Carlson and all these people and that kind of thing, it's amazing because now it's coming out on the big stage. And you know that I get excited when something comes out on the big stage because that means other people, now it's validating not only conspiracy theorists or tinfoil hat people or whatever, but it also wakes up the collective to, okay, well, maybe I do need to look into this because now it's on the big screen. But another question that I get is, how do you pay your bills? So when you're coming out of the old structure into the new structure, there's gonna be a certain way that you're going to have to figure out, because again, a lot of us don't operate this way. We're so used to operating in the public that like anything new is like, what? That doesn't even make sense. Like how is that even true, right? Well, it is true, and it's backed by laws and USC codes. My favorite one right now is House HJR, House Joint Resolution, so HJR 192. Look that up, because that one is literally stating to you that all bills are paid. So when I started going through this journey, I was wondering, like, how is that? How are all bills paid? That doesn't make any sense, because I'm 49 and I've been always paying my bills a certain way. Now, understand that that's that old system, that's that old illusion, that's that old indoctrination that we're trying to get out of. We're trying to move into more of a private republic. It's like a republic, common law, God's law, universal law. It's that kind of structure. So when you're coming out of this, you may feel like you have a lot of fear, because this new information is like, it's very foreign to you. You weren't brought up this way to think that all bills are paid, right? But if you flip it over and you start to do some research and you start to educate yourself on this, it's a House Joint Resolution 192, okay? All bills are prepaid. Read it. And then there's another one that is 31 USC 3123, and again, all bills are paid. So when you read that, simmer that through your mind, because at that point, wrap your head around that. Now figure out how. Now figure out how to do that with your own self. Because at this point, when you get, okay, let's go into remittance. When you get that coupon in the mail, you know, what you think is a bill, you get this coupon in the mail. At the bottom of it, right, that's where you endorse it. That's where you write the things. And remember, when I say you write all the things, there is a certain way to endorse that. Okay, I said signature one time on one of my lives and got reprimanded, and it's true, because if you actually look at the definitions. So you see my book, you'll see me with this one often, but even on my papers, like, I don't know if you can see this, I have like a yellow, I used a marker to like tab the side of it, so I knew where my definitions were. It says words at the top, and that's where it started to sink in for me, because people have questions as far as like just even the creditor and then the bearer. The creditor, we are the creditor because we are the bank. So when we understand that, like when we had our birth certificate, that's a bond in itself. So when you were born, there was $1 million bond put on your birth certificate. Okay, so, and the reason why I believe this is because if you go to gmeiutility.org, I think, I put my social in, and I saw how many times my stuff was traded. It was over 3,000 times. So I haven't been back to it in a while, so it's probably more. Well, that's where I started to realize, like, who would even care about my social? Who would even, like, you know, to me, it's just my SKU number, right? These outside companies, these bigger corporations that move in the private, understand that and know that you have millions of dollars on your birth certificate, and then also social. Your social card, that's why if you flip it over, it says don't give it out. It's a credit card. All your credits are loaded on there. So when you go to the dealership and you talk to your person, and you're like, okay, let me write all this stuff down. It's your social, right? Probably your driver's license. So you're filling all this stuff out. Meanwhile, they leave you for like 20 minutes, come back and say, oh, you've been approved. Well, you were already approved the minute that you signed anything. Why? Because you're the bank. You can't unapprove me. I have millions of dollars in this trust account, in these bonds. So when you are getting like, I was gonna say neglected, when you're getting rejected, what's the word, like turned down for credit, you're not allowed, they can't do that. They can't do that. So the way that you would combat that or use like adverse action is you would do a cover letter with your information, with your USC codes, all the things. And it's a negotiable instrument. USC 3-104, negotiable instrument. So even if they bring it back to you and they say, okay, well, you were financed for this much, first of all, financing you don't actually need financing because they already took, do you follow it? They already took the money out of your social security number, your trust account, the minute that you signed, right? You just filled out all this information, signed the bottom of it, gave it to somebody, they walked off, they came back and was like, oh, you're approved. Well, yeah, I'm approved. I have millions, hello. But then they're gonna go, oh, but your credit score, which is actually an outside entity, it's not even part of the government, it's a private company. So now you have the dealership saying, yeah, you were approved, but then you have the financing people coming in here saying that you owe this certain amount to them. No, I don't owe them. You already took it out of my trust, okay? So when you're doing I was gonna say combative. Wow, where'd that word come from? When you're using adverse response to somebody, put in these codes. Use the 3-step method. I'm gonna give you 1 time, I'm gonna put you on notice. 2 times, I'm gonna reiterate what I just said to you. 3rd time, we're gonna do something about it, okay? And I know that people are like, what do we do about it? You would end up having to take them to court, but I don't want you to look at court as a fear thing, okay? You're just going and going, hey, these are my rights. Tell me that I'm wrong. I'm doing this in good faith. I'm going after my trust because there's deceptive forms that I have now realized that are deceptive forms, and I would like my credits now. Thank you. You don't have to be, I don't feel like it has to get to a horrible battle. I don't feel like it has to get there just because the laws are already the laws. So at that point, I'm writing you a promissory note. Here's your little thing with all my stuff, right? I'm promising you that I'm going to pay you. There's my promise. There, that's my contract with the dealership. Okay? Anything. I mean, at this point, you can actually create your own money order with your own stamp and your own all your things, and it would come out of your trust. You can be your own bank. Actually, I know you are your own bank, but you can create this business that's your bank. That it's already attached to the Treasury Direct. It's already attached to it. That's where you would pay your bills. So anything that you're doing as far as say you're, I don't know, say you're a painter or something like that on Etsy. I don't know, go with it. And you don't have a lot of time to put into that because, you're working and you're in the matrix, you're in that public side. Well, at some point, maybe you don't want to be in that public side, right? At some point, you're like, you know what? I want to start to do my craft. I want to start painting again. I want to start whatever you're doing, Now, relieve yourself by using this, but you are going to have to stand up to them. And I know that's scary because we've been taught that if we don't do this and don't do that, they'll put on the forms, 50 years in jail, and you're like, I don't want that. Well, I'm following by your rules, and at this point, I'm doing everything in good faith, and if I'm wrong, tell me. My accounting may be off. Maybe I don't know where the comma goes, but, at this point, you kind of have them by the balls, and then when you go into court, what's the judge going to say? The judge is going to have to comply too because that's the law. These are laws for us. We just didn't realize they were there. Yeah. So when your payment comes in, get everything off electronic, okay? Get everything off auto pay. Or if you don't want to do that, because that is kind of a hassle, just call them and ask them to mail you at least a copy of your bill. Because you need that paper. That's now an instrument. Now you're going, ooh, this is what I need to work with. Okay? And the fact that it came through the postal service to you, okay? You need that as also to use, keep track. Put it in your ledger, make a copy of it, whatever, right? At the bottom of it, you're gonna have to do certain things to it, flip it over, sign your name in a certain way, do all your things. That's putting them on notice. You're sending it back. You're saying, hey, I'm going to start to change the way that I'm making these payments. I'm changing the way I'm doing things with you right now. So I need you to switch my account. you know, and they'll have to do it. And it's the law. Now, so on my Snap, I've been going over how I've been auditing. I've audited a lot of people. And at this point, it's almost like I threw a bunch of cards up in the air and I'm just wondering which ones are going to turn up, like land face up. I'm looking for my auditings because, I mean, you can audit anybody. You can, and don't fear an audit. You know, like at this point, the IRS is your friend. Okay, I know it. You're like, fuck them. I had to pay. I get that. But the IRS is actually your friend. We just don't know how to work with them. So if I contact them and Tammy on the other line understands what I'm saying, like, hey, this is this, and actually, I had a bill. It was an IRS something. And I want to say it was like a lien. So I called and I was like, hey, like, why do I have this lien on my account? And it was like a younger guy or whatever that I was talking to. And so I started using my big girl words, my definitions now, you know. So, and he knew what I was talking about. And then I said, well, do I have to write them again? Because I've already put them on notice and I don't feel like I have to, like, I don't want to have to continue to do this. Like, save me time. Is there like a notes area? And he put in the notes. I gave him UCC codes. And I said, remove the lien off of my account. And I think it was IRS, like tax UCC codes. And then I did UCC 1, which is basically all rights reserved. All rights reserved. Like, come on, they're mine. And I don't know. They haven't. I haven't heard anything, so that's a plus. But you'll need a Treasury Direct account because that's where you're going to be able to get that money from. Okay, so even if you create an account, make sure that you start a ledger. Start a ledger. Because you're going to need this. Because look, when you start to like do your payments and stuff, that's going to be like one section of your ledger, right? It's going to eventually get bigger. And then do like the second little ledger area, have that be like credit. Okay, you're working on credit. And then everything that you mail off, anything that you do with the postal service, keep it. Keep track of it. Every single bit of it. Now this book, I found it at TJ Maxx. It has like see how it has months at the top and then like, so each day when I go through something, October, well, wow, this is a while ago. October, I was doing status correction information. Your social is your account number, common law jurisdiction, not maritime. Authenticate birth certificate. And then I wrote baptisms, create a bond. So if you have ever been baptized and it's like in your church or anything like that, I'm sure that you had to give like the kids social or something like that. Some churches may not do that, but yeah. And a lot of this comes out of a Black's Law Dictionary too. I guess after book 4 and 5, under the corporation, kind of changed the verbiage and shit like that. Of course they did, because they did that even with the Bible. They did that across the board to keep us in compliance with them. No. So when you do start, like, remember I said that now you're on your second thing, maybe this is credit. Go through all 3 because they're not bureaus. Okay, they're not bureaus. They're just little side companies that think that there's something. You're gonna have to make sure that your name is current. Make sure that your address is current, employer current. Because if you don't, those companies are still not companies, anything, well, employment, and then any addresses, anything tied to that address is on your account now. So it's still kind of affecting you too. And then any names. So you may have had, like, for me, my first ex was Murphy. So I had a couple of names that some of them were actually spelled wrong too, but a couple names were Murphy. So I had that removed and I'm thinking, holy shit, that's like 15 years ago. You know, like, why is that still on my account? Now you're gonna have to prove it that you are you with a utility bill and a driver's license. So like, scan your driver's license, send it off. that's putting them on notice. So now you're going, okay, I need you to clean this up, you know, and it did clean up my shit. It was bad. It was real bad. But keep your file. Another lady that I listen to, her name is Miss Jackson. It's MZ Jackson. She's amazing. She has a lot of like Zoom classes, but she'll also put it on YouTube for us to like rewatch. But it's just, I don't know. I think I'm getting like an overwhelming response of, I don't know where to start, you know, and I understand that it is a lot. So I would say start with your bills, start to get that relief. You can do a CFPB complaints too. So when you're doing, remember this portion is the credit. When you're doing that, you're going to have to also do follow-ups with CFPB, who you sent off paperwork to, always have it certified. You know, that's where you're keeping up day to day as to like what your progress is, because some of the companies, they're going to kick it out just to kind of fuck with you, you know, or because, and the reason why I say that, it did happen to me, but I mailed off actually to the 3 bureaus, and I know what I sent, and this is why I put it on Snap, because I was like, all right, you guys, this is what this is what I'm sending. And then I got an email that said that I need to send my driver's license and my utility bill. And I'm like, y'all are assholes, because I already did that, you know. So they're gonna push that back a little bit for you. That's fine. I still sent my first, but then I send my second with basically the same thing with a little bit of force. I did talk to my trustee, which I think is exciting, but he said everything's backed up right now, like all the 1099As, which is fine, because I think it's that system where we're going from this corporate, you know, America is a corporation, it's a business. We're going from this business type way of doing transactions to a new way of doing transactions, because like rainbow currency has been talked about a lot, which I'm wondering how that would play in. Like, would they end up taking all the currency that we already have, like exchanging it, like the banks would just, I don't know, I feel like it would get muddy at first, because then we're trying to get rid of one and trying to introduce another one. I feel like it is, you know, but they are exciting and they're very pretty. But I think the Jasara Nasara and that kind of stuff is how it's going to roll out through this banking system, because they're all crashing at this point, which is exciting. It's good to see. It's good to see. But all 3 of them, Experian, Equifax, TransUnion. TransUnion is really hard, not hard. It's easy to work with TransUnion. I called them. I said, this is me, da-da-da, da-da. What I didn't love is that they asked for my social, and they're not supposed to be asking for my social, which I put in a complaint to CFPB about that. I'm like, why do you keep asking me for this? Stop, you're not allowed to. I sent off my remittance coupon to Central Georgia EMC. I haven't heard anything yet. Now, when you guys are doing this, don't stop paying your bills. Like, continue to pay your bills. Don't jump off the deck just yet. So wait until it switches. It's going to be a little muddy for a while, but it's not bad. Also, when you're doing credit, when you're in this like little credit hole, you can also put a freeze on your account. And see, I didn't know that. And you can freeze everybody, like LexisNexis kind of does like an overall kind of freeze, but all of them, freeze them. Because remember earlier in the video, I said that GMEI Utility, they traded my social over 3,000 times. So if I stop all of the, just stop all the things, then they wouldn't be able to do so. So I don't know. It's exciting information, but you can literally create money out of thin air, and it's all in how you do it, because you're the bank. You are the bank. All of the money, all of the credits, and it's I don't want to say money. It is some money, but it's also very much credits. It's credits. So when you're I'm trying to think of how would I explain that? You're almost taking back ownership of your credits, because right now they have it. You know, you're considered a minor. You're considered dead at sea. So when you take that back, then you're going, okay, look, I am me. I am who I say I am. I have authenticated my birth certificate, which I didn't do that part. You can, but you don't have to. But you're informing, or you're putting the government on notice that you know this now, so you want to convert all your stuff over to the private side. I have heard of people that will have like 1 foot in the public, 1 foot in the private, which is fine, because if you already have like a business established and that kind of stuff, I would say put your business in your trust and operate it that way. But yes, you can create a money order. This is the money order that I want to say Chris Hauser. No, it was Robots and Patriots that were talking about money orders, and that's where you would put your trust account number, which, no, the trust account number is the treasury number. Is that right? Yes. Is the treasury number, and then the account number, because you are the account. Your social is the account number. Like I said earlier, the credit card, like think of yourself as a credit card and you have a number. You know, and the only way that you can create that contract is with your permission. You would have to sign. There's I don't want to say signature, but it's an endorsement. You're endorsing, you're saying, yes, I want to get this money out of my trust. It's crazy. All bills are paid, y'all. So wrap your head around that. How are all bills paid? How? Well, it would make sense, because then you have all these codes that are saying there's no such thing as foreclosure, or there's no such thing as a late payment. So I'm like, how are there's no such things? That's stupid. Everybody has, you know, I was still in this cognitive dissonance, but now I'm like, I get it, because we are the bank. We are the bank. I am a credit card. You know, I came across this guy too. His name is Mark Christopher. He's a judge. I put up his stuff in the group the other day. But I want to say, let me think, who is he? Because I listened, okay, he's a global chief federal postal court judge. That's impressive, that's a lot. Global chief federal postal court judge. So remember, the post office is a bank. So I'm like, ooh, let me listen to this guy. Well, he said, his website was talking about how to do like live life claims. So you're claiming back your birth certificate, because again, you're dead at sea. Okay, it's admiralty law. So if it's water law, you're saying, no, I'm on land. I want to do my live life claim. I want to claim that I'm alive. So when you do that, now you're getting access to that trust, because now you're saying, I'm alive. I'm alive. Stop trading it. I'm not dead at sea. Which is so weird. Like, who thought this? You know, like, but yeah, you're claiming your credits. You're claiming everything that you've paid in. You're claiming, and some people say, like, don't even worry about like past things at this point. Just access your stuff and then move forward. But I do want to try my hand with some of these audits, because some of these audits get gnarly and you'll get big fat checks. So that would be nice, big fat check. I have a really nice nest egg right now, but big fat check would be nice too. And that's auditing the people. That's everybody that's used your social, your driver's license. Get all those credits back. Credits, money. That's all that. What is yep? That's me. I'm sorry. What was I talking about? I squirrel so bad. But yeah, you're getting all that back. You're saying, hey, I'm alive. Let me get all this back. And then even so, if you don't even necessarily have to get it back. You could actually just tell the company, like, I'm not paying you this traditionally kind of like, I'm going to send in my money, my hard-earned money. I'm not going to do that anymore. So I want you to go ahead and just take it out of my trust. You know, I would believe that would also, I don't know, I was going to say like a 1040V voucher that you would have to like maybe pull up, because when you're doing an audit, it's called the W-4 sandwich. And that is, it's several documents, but I mean, once you do that, like that's theirs. How far am I back? I just looked at it. Oh, and then the post office that I've been sending my audits to, from what I've gathered, is P.O. Box 3801, Ogden, Ogden, Utah 84409. Because there's one in Charlotte, North Carolina, and from what I've gathered, not that one, but do the Ogden. Post office 3801. And then if you're doing a Verizon bill, same thing. Don't send it to the local offices. They don't know what this is. They don't understand the private side. You have to send it above the heads. So it's Cellco Partner. Wait, let me do it again. Cellco Partnership 1 Verizon Way, Baskin Ridge, New Jersey 07920. That's that. Oh, one of the audits was my hospital that I was born in, because that's where, oh, here it is. That's where it would have spun off. So the W-4 sandwich, the 8888, it's 4 8s. That's the direct deposit. So like if they find anything, they're gonna want to know like where do I put it? Hey, Wendy. They're gonna want to know where to put it. So that is the actual like direct deposit. Now for identity theft, I did the GMEI utility. That is 3949A. That's a really good form to have. That's identity theft. So at this point, everybody that you have ever been in contract with stole your shit. Because now you're over here with the financing company going, oh, I'm gonna pay it. No, you don't have to, because all bills are paid. Okay. W-4, we would think, oh, well, that's when you start a new job, right? No, well, this is also an employee form. Well, what are you? Right? You're slaving to what? To them? W-4. You're an employee. 1040V is how the IRS gets paid. Okay. So the IRS gets paid too. They get 13% out of anything that they find, but the rest of it would go into the direct deposit in the form 888848. Okay. Look this stuff up. Google it or DuckDuckGo it. Okay. Right. Form 8888. Or look up this USC code. 31 USC 3123. All bills are paid. Prepaid. So then think of that word. How are they all prepaid? And I'm using the terminology that they use, right? All bills are prepaid. Where'd they get that money from? How are all my bills prepaid? It's coming out of the trust. We were gifted that when they asked for all of our gold. We turned our gold in. And they're like, oh, well, all your bills are paid. Okay. Now, Trump is trying to get us back to a gold standard. But then we also have access to this. We just have to learn what forms and how to communicate with them. Because if I get Tammy on the other side and I'm not instructing her on what I need her to do with my account, it's gonna be blurry. So you write to whom it may concern, instruct, right? You're giving them instructions on what to do with certain forms. I'm sure if I was Tammy and I saw this W-4 sandwich come through, I would know what that is. Okay, so they're going to be a little, some of them may be familiar with this. I'm sure they are. They know what that is. They know how that works. They don't tell us. I'm sure that they have to do like a, what is it, NDA? Non-disclosure agreement? Yeah. So the IRS, out of this audit, right, the IRS is going, I'm going to audit these people. And I'm like, yay, do it. They do it. Say they find $100,000 in fraud or credits or anything that was owed to me in my cover letter. I want everything that is owed to me, right? To me. Here's my address. You know, I sent them the direct deposit. Oh, you don't want to send it to my address? Okay, put it in this direct deposit right here. Take your 13%. How do they get their 13%? 1040V. They get theirs. Take yours, give me mine. High five. We'll do this again. You know, so that is the W-4 sandwich to audit these people. please stop being afraid of the IRS. They're actually our friends. We just don't know how. We're doing it wrong. We're doing it wrong. I was doing it wrong. Let me speak for myself. But even if there's, hold on, suspicion of fraud, so 3949A, fake altered documents, kickbacks. Oh, where was I at on this? I think I was on, I love my notes. Sometimes it's so scrolly and so beautiful, and then sometimes it's like, what word was I working on? What was that? LexisNexis is also good, because when you're doing credit reports, you're gonna wanna notify all three of them, same way, same documents, send it in. They should do their thing. Shut your accounts down, like freeze them, but then also do LexisNexis. Also, like, put everything on a hold, because if anything, then when you notify the IRS, you can also tell them, because again, you have to go through the IRS to clean all this shit up. No. You have to go through the IRS to clean up your accounts, to clean all the, like when you say you had a soft inquiry on something, and like a bank, or not even a bank, I would say an apartment, and that's going to affect your score. If you like freeze everything, they're not going to be able to do that. It's almost like it'll kick it out, right? The other part of it for your account, as far as the treasury and that kind of stuff, if the credits portion of it kicks it out, that's fine, because we're not even actually supposed to be using like credit bureaus or anything like that. It's wrong. If anything, the credit card should be linked to the treasury with like your social security number. Oh, well, wait a minute. There's already one like that. It's your social security card. It's a social security card. So clean that up too, right? You're cleaning up your credit, but you're also cleaning up the other side, which is your social. That's your trust. Clean up both sides if you're wanting to start anywhere. Okay? And I know it's overwhelming. I feel like I just confused myself. I have to separate them, because credit is much different than your trust, because if I only had my trust, then I wouldn't need the credit bureaus. You know, it's almost like, think about two purses sitting right here, and this is my trust, and this is where all my credits, and this is where all my, cash, whatever, this is where my thing is. If this is where all my stuff is, then why do I need this purse? I don't need this financial anything. I don't need to do payments. I don't need to do, which payments are, there's no such thing as a late payment. So that makes sense, right? In this purse, I'm like, why I wouldn't necessarily need it. So now on the private side, you're just going, I just want to deal with this purse. I don't want to deal with this kind of stuff. I want to deal with this purse. Okay? And that's moving yourself over there where you won't even, like if you're going to get a Mercedes, you wouldn't go to the dealership. You would go to the Mercedes, what is that called? Hold on. You would go to the Mercedes, like, manufacturer, like the plate that, I feel like that, the manufacturer, wherever the big Humba. Nothing local. Go over the heads. Okay? But yeah, it's exciting. It is exciting. If you want to try the W4 sandwich, message me, and I can give you those forms again, but it's exciting. Put everything in it together, write up your little thing, and send it off. See what comes out of it. I'm actually auditing child support from 30 years ago. 30 years ago, because think about it. If all bills are paid, right? That means when my son was born, say it's $50,000. Just go with me, I'm not good at math. If it's $50,000, right? That was already taken out of what would have been his dad's, his biological's account, his trust, right? Already would have been taken out. Where is that? Because I didn't see that. And his baby daddy didn't pay child support. So where's that money actually sitting at? Because something was taken out somewhere. Okay? So at this point I'm going, okay, that would have been credits that were actually that were owed to me, right? So if those credits are already owed to me, then that's what I want. I want those credits back. Okay, so when you audit child support, I mean, and it's 30 years ago, so it's just been sitting in there accruing. It's not something that's like 50,000 and it just sits. No, it's constantly accruing. So I audited Florida child support from 30 years ago to see if there's any interest or anything that I can pretty much get back from it, because again, that money is sitting for somewhere. I didn't get it and he didn't know about it, you know? So where's it at? Because I know that it has interest, and I know that there's a lot of credits sitting on that. So that's what I'm asking back. That's what I think is fraud, right? So when I contacted the IRS, that's what I was saying. This is fraud, okay? I didn't get paid. I endorsed a state document, and it was notarized, but I didn't get anything in return. Baby daddy didn't pay child support, so where's this money at? So I want it. I don't know how much it's going to be, but that's exciting. And again, it's credits. You're getting credits back. Hey, Wendy. Why'd you give me your email address, Levy? Oh, send me W4 sandwich. Ooh, I don't email. You should see my homepage. It's like 200,000 emails unread. I will though. But yeah, you can audit anything. You can audit anything that has ever used your social. You can audit your school. You can audit doctor's offices, hospitals. I audited the hospital that I was born in. That's where the fuckery started. Think about it, because when you get your birth certificate, like mine was 10/24/73, but it was registered on 10/27/1973. So when did the fuckery start? Because it wasn't when I came out, it was on the 27th. I want that audited. All of it. Balance my books, make my books right. Oh wait, I get talking. It's bad. It's a really long email, Wendy. I'll send it to you. If you're on Facebook, I have a Facebook group that I'm really starting to gear up on this kind of stuff in my Facebook group. If you want to be in that, let me know. And I encourage you guys to ask questions. This is how we learn. Ask questions. I have a friend of mine that is on my Snap, and I love her. She's my OG, and I kind of was talking about all this today, and I was like, I said, do you guys get that? Like, you know, and she said, no. She was like, I believe you, but I just have it's hard to wrap my head around this. And the only thing that I could say is look up HJR 192. HJR, you're welcome. HJR 192, okay? All bills are prepaid. All bills. Prepaid. So now you're going, how prepaid? You know, how are we the bank? How are we? What makes sense? Because what's the news telling you? The banks have no money? Well, that's true. Who has the money? What does QAnon say? What does the White Rabbit say? Follow the money. Where's the money? Follow the money. It's us. We have the power. We have the control. As soon as you create that negotiable instrument, you create that negotiable instrument, and if they put their endorsement, their signature on it, that's a contract now, and it could be in crayon. Well, probably not. It's a little dramatic, but you know, you're creating this contract with somebody. So say you were going to the Mercedes dealership, and you would talk to them. You would create a negotiable instrument, say, this is what this is. This is how I represent myself. You're gonna wear several hats in this kind of arena, in this new, you know, you may kind of act as your attorney. I know how to represent myself because now I know the laws. It's consumer law. Okay? Learn those kind of things. And I understand, like, people have lives and people have kids, and you know, you're going 90 to nothing all day. but still educate yourself. Yes, at first it's gonna be words that are over your head. It's like $10 words and you're going, what the hell does that mean? Look it up. Look up what that means. What are you? Who are you? Who are you in what position, what character do you play in this field? Because this field, you were a peasant and you were slaving to the system. Now you went out of the system and you want to go, how do I play my character? How do I play my avatar? What control do I actually have? What laws and codes and all these things that are in front of us, how do I play this game now? You know, it's almost like you're putting on your big girl panties. You know, you're putting on like adult. Okay, I understand this now. You know, and the more of us that get out of that system and learn to like how to move in the private, the better, because then it's going to start to trickle down and then more people are going to be onto this. If more people are onto this, what do you think that does? That destroys those smaller financing companies, because fuck them. They've been taking our money for years. And then even with like electricity being free, why are we paying for electricity? You know, it's just waking up and being conscious. It's waking up and understanding your position here. You know, if you want your heaven, you go get your heaven, but you're going to have to do some work. Okay? It doesn't just come to you. Okay? You have to do intentional, I was going to say spell work. That's my witchy side coming out. You're going to have to do intentional stuff. Here's kind of a blessing. I've been doing like, I've been calling in my power and calling in like just anything, abundance. And look, when you say abundance, you better be real specific, because you could have abundance of bullshit. You don't want abundance of bullshit. But you do want abundance of wealth. So be very specific. We don't want abundance of bullshit. No. Because the universe is like, oh my God, she said abundance. You know? Be careful what you pray for, or be careful what you wish for. But I've been calling in wealth, money, just anything high vibrational kind of a thing. So I ordered off of Instacart was it yesterday? Maybe it was yesterday. And the girl, I was gonna say DoorDasher, but it was the girl that did my food or whatever. She was the driver. And I guess when she got to the apartment complex, her app died or failed or something happened. Something happened to her app. And she didn't know how to she couldn't get through the gate, but then like she lost any information of mine too. So I could see her on my side and I'm like, hey, like, why is she's still up at the office? So I got in my car and I went up to there and she was like, I'm so sorry, like, and told me what happened. And she's like, I didn't know, after I lost this, I didn't even know what apartment to start at. I was like, no problem. They credited me back. It was like a $200 order, but they credited, I just got free food. So, and I told her when we stuck it all into my car, I said, do you want to take a picture of it? Because like, I don't want her to get in trouble, you know, because some people, you know how some people are. So she took a picture of it and sent it in or whatever, but got some free food, which brings me to, if you are on any assistance, and I'll wrap this up. Because that money is coming out of your Sestake trust, okay, you're already tapped into your Sestake trust. So, because I was too. I had Alabama Medicaid and I'm auditing the hell out of them too. But you can up it. So if you get food stamps or you get housing, if you get Section 8 housing, anything like that, you can negotiate with them. Why? Because this is a negotiable instrument. Look up the word negotiable instrument. So when you fill all that paperwork out, because I did it, I was on Medicaid, I was on welfare, I was on food stamps, right? WIC too. And I put my name, all the things, date of birth, social security number. That's a red flag, because what are they going to do with that? Why do you need my social? Are you going to tap in? So they tap into my trust, but then they come back and they're like, oh, well, it's just you and your son, or whenever I had my daughter, it's just you and your daughter. So we're going to calculate how much you eat and how much you spend, and that's what we're going to give you. No. If I was wiser back then. because I felt like I was struggling even with that. You can actually use this negotiable instrument and go back and negotiate more. No, I want more. Why do you want more? Because I know where it comes from. Don't think that the grandmas and the grandpas that are getting like even disability, even like veteran kind of senior citizen, anything like that, they're tapped in. They're tapped in. Why? Because when they filled out their paperwork, they had to do their social. Social is what? It's a credit card. It's your credit card to your Sestake trust. So just remember, all of those places that you have ever written your social security number down, you can audit the hell out of them. Hospitals, medical anything, anything. Employers, somebody pissed you off and fired you, audit them. Get your lick back. But yeah, you can. You actually can. And then there's 12 CFR 1002, and that's equal credit opportunity. So anything that you're doing, remember back here, you have your journal, right? And this is credit. So put in those important kind of credit things. 12 CFR 1002, equal credit opportunity. Protects applicants in any transaction. So if my transaction, here's this, has it worked for me? What part? Because I'm in my third phase of the remittance coupon. So I got everything off, did my thing, sent in my thing. Now I'm on my third, and I sent it off today. So can I say that it worked for me? Hasn't worked for, not yet. But my letters are getting better. They're getting a little more lengthy. They're not like, hi, I know you're bullshit now. So the other thing that I would encourage you guys to read would be the Bills of Exchange Act. Bills of Exchange Act. And if anything, if you guys are lazy like I am, hashtag it on TikTok. Somebody's talking about it, okay? If you hashtag anything, even if it's straw man, okay? This morning, I came across a girl, she must live in New York. She was talking about her rent going up, and she was like, New York is fucked up, and like I guess she's got a 2-bedroom apartment, and it's like $4,000. And she said that her rent for the 2-bedroom apartment is just as much as her parents' mortgage. So what did I do? I went up underneath it, and I'm like, that's because you haven't accessed your trust. You know, look up this hashtag strawman, okay? Because when we were born, your all capital name is the strawman. That's your strawman. It's a fictitious entity. It's not you, right? It's a totally separate entity. It's all capitals. You got to come over here to where it's capital, lowercase, all the things. And I did that even with the IRS, because I went on the IRS website, pronounced myself dead. Fuck with me. And then picked myself back up as, that's my name now. Because I had to say, who's dead? Terry Lee Daniel. Social, date of birth. Who's going to be the executor? Terry Lee Daniel. So, did I do social? Yeah, social, date of birth. So now they're put on notice that I know you're a little sneaky snake. So it's exciting. If you guys are interested, Tamara T. Bush on YouTube is amazeballs. She talks about the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act, 15 U.S.C. 1692C, communication in connection with debt collections. So your first letter that you do, throw in that code. Okay, this is my first letter with you guys. You need to make this right. I understand that you're just a company, and I actually don't have to do this with you guys. But I need you to make this right. Take the shit off. Take stuff off that doesn't belong there. And that could literally be old names, old employers that are still stagnant on there for you. You don't want to keep that. If you do have, here's what I did notice. I'm going to go to 6:30. I have heard a lot about if you have an LLC, putting it inside of your trust and then working out of that LLC. And you're going to end up building more money, more credit within that. Because what you're doing is you're structuring your bank. So picture yourself as a bank, and now you're putting another company into your structure, and then you're also linking your structure, your entity, right, that you've taken back now, you're linking it to the treasury. So that could even mean wealth for generations to come, because you've already established that mainframe of who you are. You did a live life claim, right? You've already established, hey, I'm me, okay? And you've attached your treasury, that Sestike bond, to that trust. No, you have attached your trust. No, why is that not right? You've attached the Treasury Direct to your bank account, to your entity. That was a lot. I'm like thinking, why would it not be? I'm down the rabbit hole. Sorry, you guys. But the trust funds, yeah, do a revocable trust, where revoke, you can actually change it if you want to. If you want it to just be what it is, then it can't be changed, nothing like that. But revocable is like you can change stuff. Bank accounts, life insurance policy, stocks, bonds. Okay, that's that trust that you're linking your treasury to. That's what I was gonna say. That's what I was trying to say. And then you're the grantor, you're the beneficiary. So, keep folders on all three bureaus. I know I call them bureaus, but they're not. They're literally companies. They have nothing to do with the government. They're outside fucking with us. So here's a TransUnion. The TransUnion address is P.O. Box 2000. It's Chester, Pennsylvania. It's not the other one. So I've had luck with TransUnion, that address. A book that I would recommend would be Modern Money Mechanics. So I had an actual show today with Erica, but she had to reschedule, no fault to her own. But we're going to reschedule that and go live and all the things. But I just wanted to go over what I've learned thus far, because I'm getting a lot of questions and that kind of stuff. And I love that, because then people are waking up. There is a private way of living, although like we weren't taught that, or we didn't know that, or that wasn't introduced to us or anything like that. So I love you guys. I hope you have a great day. I don't think anything as far as spiritual stuff, I think there's a couple retrogrades coming on, like we're sitting in retrograde, so just be careful for those, because those will bring up past energies that you don't really want to have in your life anymore. But anyway, I love you guys, and I'll meet you on the flip side.